What's going on, guys? I'm Jiffy Nano, and in this video I'm going to go over my long overdue update for my Phase Grasp Amara build, which I am now officially naming Bloodbound Amara. This build can solo everything in Mayhem 10, even the new Takedown at the Guardian Breach. So, like my Russian Rambo Moe's build video, in an effort to save time and not overload people with information, I am not going to go over every skill in detail. Rather, I'm going to go over the important stuff, synergies, and interactions. So here are the skill trees. There are some variations I use depending on my loadout, like swapping out Steady Hands and Wildfire for Infusion if you plan on using non-elemental guns, and putting some points in Reload Speed rather than Restless for cooldown rate. So there are two really important interactions in this build that I need to explain. First is between ties that bind and do harm. Ties that bind links nearby enemies to the one you grasp, and they share 35% of the damage dealt to the grasped enemy. This also counts as action skill damage, which is increased by do harm incredibly. This link damage also gets all of your bonus elements, and all the elemental strength and weaknesses for the different types of health. Long story short, if you stack up do harm to 99, the linked enemies end up taking way more damage than the grasped target. The second interaction that's really important is between our class mod and do harm. We are using a Phase Zerker, which when you use your action skill gives you 25 rush stacks that slowly decay over time. But if you fake grasp, so grasp the ground and purposely miss, you can stack these up to 99 do harm stacks really easily, and you can get your action skill right back. This will also stack Violent Tapestry, giving you more status effect chance, and rush stacks will give you Alacrity for reload speed. The Phase Zerker itself also grants extra damage, cooldown rate per rush stack, so you can use your Phase Grasp pretty often. My favorite part about this build, and probably the best part about it overall, is that there's only one real requirement, and that's the Phase Zerker. You can use any shields you want, any grenades you want, and whatever weapons are good at the time. Personally, I like to use the old God shields because they give you more damage, and survivability isn't really an issue with sustainment, or the Transformer just because it's one of the best, if not the best, defensive shield. For artifacts, the usual are what you want: Victory Rushes, Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge, even the Auto Idol. Go for a Snowdrift if you want to move fast. Anything really works. Keep in mind that in Mayhem 10, anoints are a must, so shoot for consecutive hits, 100% weapon damage after action skill end. Even 200% weapon damage while action skill is active does some work, but remember it only works when you have the weapon out as you phase grasp. 300% weapon damage versus enemies over 90% HP recently got fixed, so it's not nearly as good as it was, but bonus element for the next two mags just got buffed to 100% rather than 50%, so that's actually worth grabbing now. On your shield and grenade, just trying to stack whatever elements you need for what you're fighting. Now, when you see this, it does look like it's much more suited for mobbing rather than bossing, and you'd be somewhat correct. But we are spec'd into Transcend, which can stack twice with Avatar. 2 stacks of Transcend gives you 54% more critical damage, so for bossing you could switch to Phase Cast or Slam depending on what your weapon anoints are. Use your action skill on the boss twice to get your stacks of Transcend, Get Laid Bare, and Wrath, making your bossing damage actually pretty damn good. Overall, I love this build. It's incredibly strong, great for solo, insane for co-op since you can swap a lore for soul sap and heal your teammates. It's super versatile, you can use whatever weapons and gear you prefer, kill entire crowds of enemies in seconds, and with a quick action skill swap, kill bosses just as easy. Really quick, I want to talk about the takedown at the Guardian Breach. Currently, enemy health is extremely high, and even trash mobs can be a bit of a challenge to kill. For the most part, I used a mix of the Monarch, Reflux, and the Recursion for my mobbing. Ties that Bind and Soul Sap was also a serious lifesaver, giving me more health regen in between reloads and stuff. I also was using a handful of different Old God shields for extra damage. Doing this takedown is only really hard because of the amount of HP everything has, so you want all the damage you can get. Ammo was also a big problem, but that can be solved using a Cutpurse Launchpad or a Cutpurse Rocket Boots. Both these artifacts give you ammo back with the rockets they fire. And for bosses, I would just burn them down with the Monarch, but I'm sure some of the new launchers could do the same thing. From what I can tell, a lot of people's high-end builds are struggling a little bit in Mayhem 10, especially solo, and even harder in co-op, so good luck out there. And just like, I struggled through this, I busted my ass to get this footage, but I was able to do it. So if I can do it, you can do it, because I'm terrible at the game. But let's talk about Mayhem modifiers last. So Mayhem modifiers to avoid, honestly, most of them aren't too bad. Personally, I would say avoid anything that makes them immune to elemental damage. Pain tolerance is also an absolute nightmare, along with ticked off, which reduces pretty much all of your damage to a fraction of what it normally is. Now, if you're in my Discord and you want to give this build a shot, I'll have the save file in my Discord, link in the description. Since there's no real specific gear, I'll just have it packed with all the stuff that I use in the takedown. Grab it if you want the gear. I don't care, just, if you want it, take it. Console friends, I'm sorry there's no way of transferring save files, but the only real requirement for this build is the Phase Zerker, so getting this build together is actually pretty easy. Like I said before, I love this build. It's super strong, great for solo, great for co-op. I've been using it pretty much exclusively on my Amara for a while now, and I'm really happy that I was able to update it and it's was able to get through the new takedown. So if you found this video helpful or informative, a like rating is always appreciated. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing and hitting that bell, and check out my Twitch channel, link in the description, where I stream Monday and Wednesday afternoons, and Friday and Saturday mornings. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.